Today let us start female reproductive organs. So first we have right and left ovaries, uterine tube, that is fallopian tube, uterus and vagina, and also external genitalia and mammary glands in our female reproductive system. So first let us start the histology of ovary. So here you can check out the diagram of histology of an ovary. So first the epithelium lining over it is the cuboidal epithelium which is lining over the surface, and the tunica albuginea is the second layer, and the third layer is nothing but the cortex. Third and fourth are cortex, and after the cortex we have the primordial follicle. There is our fifth, we know that from primordial follicle a secondary follicle forms, and next the mature Graafian follicle forms, and sixth is the secondary follicle. So this is the secondary follicle, and our fifth is the primary follicle. This is, so you can see these small cells. These are the primary follicles and these are the secondary follicles. And next coming to follicular cavity. The seventh is a follicular cavity, and eighth is a granulosa cells. You know granulosa cells are around our follicle. And ninth is a ovum, right? And then there is a cumulus euphoricus cells which are present over around the ovum. And 11 is a capsule of the follicle. Here you can see, and 12 is the stroma of an ovary, and 14 is the corpus luteum. We know corpus luteum. All the structures we'll see in detail in our embryology. And 15 is the atretic follicle. You can check out atretic follicle, which is corpus luteum degenerated into atretic follicle. And 16 is the blood vessels. So there are also blood vessels. So where they are located, what all those we'll see here. So here you can check out the ovaries are mainly useful for formation of an ova, and the hormones for mainly secondary sex characters in a female, and the cyclic changes are present mainly in the endometrium. And the ovaries are oval in structure, right? You can see oval structure, and it is free surface is having cubical cells, that is mainly germinal epithelium have microvilli, and there are more amount of mitochondria, and they increase especially in the pregnancy. So the germinal epithelium is nothing but the cuboidal outer surface layer. Actually it's a misnomer, that is germinal epithelium. It doesn't form any germinal cells, but just it's nothing but a cubical cells. So this germinal epithelium is continuous with the mesothelium of the peritoneum. You know outer we have the peritoneum, so this is continuous with the peritoneum. So ovaries are having two types, that is thick cortex and thin smaller medulla. So you can see this all is a cortex area, and this middle area is nothing but the medulla. In cortex only we have all the follicles, that is primary, secondary, Graafian follicle. In our medulla we have only our blood vessels. So let us check out. So the germinal epithelium next continues as tunica albuginea, that is connective tissue which is present in our cortex. Remember tunica albuginea is also present in cortex, but is nothing but the connective tissue. And next after the tunica albuginea we are having stroma. So the stroma is having reticular fibers, fusiform cells, and this stroma only have a follicles. So next we have the medulla. Medulla we have more amount of blood vessels, especially there are more amount of veins, and it contains elastic fibers, smooth muscles. And at the hilum, that is here, this is the hilum, right? At the hilum we have the remnant of mesonephric ducts and also hilous cells, so similar to the interstitial cells of a testis. So this area. So that's we complete our ovary. Very simple. Next let us see the uterine tube. So uterine tube is also known as our we know that structure, fallopian tube. So let us check out some of our diagrams over here. Those is the oocyte, nucleus, follicular cell, and this is the stroma. As I said, stroma is present. In the stroma only we are having a follicular cells. So around we know it's zona pellucida, follicular cells become columnar, and the basement membrane. So this is an ovary in the high magnification. So first one is a germinal epithelium over here, that is made up of cubical cells, and second one is tunica albuginea, and the third one is the primordial follicle. And next one primary follicle and two secondary follicles are also seen over here. And here developing of an ovarian follicle after establishment of follicular cavity. You can check out, this is the follicular cavity, this is a membranous granulosa, oocyte, and the zona pellucida, this is the stroma. So this is a mature ovarian follicle having oocyte, zona pellucida, discus proligus, cumulus operus. So only difference between this and this is nothing but having cumulus operus in a mature ovarian follicle, and they're also having theca interna and theca externa. So this inner layer is interna, outer externa, and the membranous granulosa. This is a follicular cavity. Now you can see in the mature the follicular cavity is extended, it is increased. So part of ovarian follicle seen at high magnification. So number 1 is our ovum, and 2 is the nucleus, and 3 is our zona pellucida, and 4 is a cumulus euphoricus, and 5 is the discus proligus. So here you can check out the luteal cells, the capillary, and corpus luteum is seen after hematocyaline and eosin staining. So polyhedral cells are present and the capillaries are present among them. You can see these are the capillaries, polyhedral cells. So this all we'll check out in our embryology. So uterine tube, it is nothing but our fallopian tube. So uterine tube, you can see the 1 and 2 layers are the muscle layers, outer muscle layer, and that may be longitudinal and circular, and the mucous membrane shows the branching folds covered by a ciliated columnar epithelium. And here comes so this is the structure of uterine tube. Let us see the details of it here. So uterine tube is also known as fallopian tube. We know medially it is attached to our uterus, and laterally it has at the peritoneal cavity near the ovary. So lateral ends. We know lateral ends have fimbriae, and you can imagine the structure of fallopian tube, and medially it is attached to uterus, and in turn from uterus down to vagina, cervix, etc. So thick wall is having at the base of isthmus. So isthmus have a thick wall. Thin wall is dilated at the ampulla, and the lateral end also have an infundibulum, and the finger-like process are present fimbriae. This is also at the lateral end. So wall. The main wall is having the mucous membrane, which is surrounded by a muscle coat, as we seen just now, the muscle coat, right? So it covered externally by the peritoneum, same like our ovary, and the numerous folds are present, especially in the ampulla. There are numerous folds which are lined by the columnar epithelium on the basement membrane. So here we are having columnar epithelium, but there we are having a cubical cells, and the intercalary cells are also present. So the muscle coat is divided into inner circular and outer longitudinal. So the inner layer is circular and the outer layer is longitudinal. So smooth muscles. So inner circular is thicker in the isthmus, and the outer longitudinal as also having additional inner longitudinal layer sometimes. So this is all about uterine or fallopian tube. Next, let us see uterus. So check out the structure of uterus. So uterus is having mainly two phases. One is the proliferative phase and other is the secretory phase. So let us check out both diagrams. In proliferative phase, you can see first one is a lining of columnar epithelium in the uterus, and next is the stroma. Here is the stroma, and in the stroma we are having the uterine glands. So this is in the proliferative state. Now let us check out in secretory phase. What is the difference? Now you can only understand. So first, uterus secretory phase. Fourth one is an enlarged uterine gland, but there the glands are straight like structure, but here they are like somewhat sawtooth shape, like disform structure, and they're enlarged. And fifth one, you can observe the artery over here, and sixth is a stratum compactum. So this is a stratum compactum phase which can see only in the secretory phase, and also we are having a stratum basale and stratum spongiosum. So what are those? This is the stratum spongiosum, and stratum basale is over here, and 9 is the muscle layer. So the difference between secretory and proliferative phase is only that the uterine glands here are somewhat disordered or like sawtooth shape, and also they have an artery, and the stratum compactum, stratum spongiosum, stratum basale are well seen in the case of secretory phase. Let us check out the details over here. So uterus, upper body, lower cervix, small lumen. We know upper uterus is divided into body, cervix, lower lumen, and it is mainly lined by the mucous membrane outside, of course, peritoneum. And the muscle layer is a myometrium. There are more amount of smooth muscles here, more amount of blood vessels, more amount of nerves, more amount of lymphatics. So myometrium is mainly used for contraction, expulsion of the fetus at the time of childbirth. And the mucous membrane mainly endometrium, which is resting on the stroma. An increase in the uterine glands in the stroma in the case of secretory phase, right? So lining epithelium is columnar. Before menarche, it is ciliated, but numerous simple tubular uterine glands are having columnar epithelium. So cyclic changes are under hormonal control like estrogen and progesterone, and the post-menstruation, the thickness of the pars functionalis increases and it is shed off. So the remaining part is only pars basalis. So in menstruatory cycle only pars functionalis is shed off as bleeding, but the remaining part is always pars basalis, it remains there only. In secretory phase there is sawtooth or twisted glands. As I said, this is sawtooth or twisted glands. And that's it about uterus. Now let us check out our cervix. So here can you also check out uterine glands at various stages of menstruation cycle. The thickness of endometrium is also indicated. So this is a post-menstrual cycle, this is a proliferative cycle, and this is a secretory phase cycle. Here the endometrium, uterine gland. So now let us check out the cervix. So Cervix is nothing but, just check out the details. It is having a mucous membrane, endocervix, having a palmate folds, and the glands secrete mainly mucus. So mucus with the ovula, nabothis cystis. And the upper part is ciliated columnar, lower part is non-ciliated columnar. Why upper part is ciliated columnar? It is similar to vagina. Lower part is non-ciliated columnar, and external os is stratified squamous, external is stratified squamous, and the lumen is narrow. At the childbirth it gets dilated more, and so because it need to pass the head of a fetus out of the body. So next, vagina. So there is not more about cervix, and let's check out vagina. So here you can check out the vagina. So first one is a lining of stratified squamous epithelium. Second one is a connective tissue. Third one is a blood vessels. You can check, this is the blood vessels, this is the lining of squamous, this is a connective tissue, and 4 is the lymphoid follicle here, and 5 and 6 are nothing but the muscle coat. So let us see the details. So vagina is having mucous membrane, muscle coat, outer fibrous coat or adventitia, and the lining is mainly stratified squamous epithelium, that is non-keratinized. So we know mainly we have non-keratinized because keratinized we have only in the dry areas, right? So, and also it is followed by lamina propria, which contains blood vessels, more amount of veins, and also we're having more amount of elastic fibers here. So remember, vagina is 8 centimeters, no glands are present in the mucosa, and it is having outer longitudinal and inner circular, sometimes outer adventitia with the fibrous tissue with more amount of elastic fibers, that is rich elastic fibers are present in a wall of a vagina. Now let us check out our external genitalia. So external genitalia mainly we have labia minora, labia majora, and also clitoris. So labia minora folds of the mucous membrane along with the connective tissue, which is mainly covered by the stratified squamous epithelium. Labia minora is a modified sebaceous gland. So no hair follicles are present over here. But the labia majora folds of the skin along with the hair. Remember, majora have hair, minora doesn't have hair. And the majora is also having sebaceous glands, sweat glands, and support plus connective tissue by the abundant fat. Clitoris is also known as miniature penis, but the urethra doesn't pass by it. So two corpora cavernosa and glands are present with the erectile tissue. The surface is mucous membrane but not skin, and it is lined by stratified squamous epithelium. The mucosa has more amount of nerve supply. So last part is our mammary gland. So mammary gland histology. Elevation in the pectoral region is mammary gland. Dark pigment area areola. Projection is the nipple. So 15 to 20 lobes are having lobules. Again, these lobes drain into lactiferous duct which open at the nipple, and the lactiferous dilation is nothing but lactiferous sinus. Small ducts are lined by columnar epithelium. Large ducts 2 by 3 layers at the opening are lined by stratified squamous, and the lobe has compound tubules, that is alveolar gland. Ducts along with alveoli are surrounded by the periductal tissue. Alveoli distend and secrete the milk. So the resting stage alveoli is cuboidal, but the active secretory phase of mammary alveoli are columnar. So when they are in active phase, when they are need to lactation, at that time they are active, then the cells become columnar. But when the cells are in resting, there is no need to lactate, then it is the cuboidal cells. So the peripheral of areola have the large sebaceous gland, and the tubercles of Montgomery are also present. So this is all about histology of female reproductive system.